Welcome to Screen Hollywood, the home of movie news and entertainment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Hello, Screen Hollywood family, and welcome back to the channel. This is Adam. If you're new here, welcome. Join the Hollywood family. Hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you never miss an update. Also, bookmark and subscribe to our news publication at screenhollywood.com, where we release all entertainment news first. So, the dust from our spoiler-free review of James Gunn's Superman hasn't even settled yet. But we have to talk, because the story that's unfolding after the movie's release is almost as dramatic as the film itself. We're talking about the box office. We're talking about a tidal wave of money that has come flooding in for this movie, creating a massive, undeniable disconnect between the financial results and the storm of negativity we've seen online. Some of the reviews have been absolutely brutal, aggressively negative, but the numbers tell a completely different story. So today, we're going to dive deep, we're going to look at the data, explore a theory about critic bias, and I'm going to share a new perspective I've developed after letting the film sink in. A perspective that might just change how you think about this whole debate. All right, let's start with the hard facts. No opinions, just pure, cold, hard cash. James Gunn's Superman didn't just have a good opening weekend. It had a phenomenal one. The film blasted off with a staggering $220 million taken in its first 72 hours. Let me put that into perspective for you. The online battlefield has been dominated by the Snyderverse Gunn debate. Well, Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, the film that kicked off the DCEU, opened to $116 million. Gunn's Superman didn't just beat it, it absolutely crushed it. The records don't stop there. The global debut makes Superman the second biggest opening of James Gunn's entire career, falling just shy of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And analysts are now projecting that this movie is on track to become the biggest grossing standalone Superman movie of all time, even greater than the Christopher Reeves classics. I'm going to be honest with you. We here at the Screen Hollywood team are a little surprised by the sheer scale of this success. As we said in our spoiler-free review, which you should definitely check out if you haven't, we identified a number of flaws with the film. A number of our team, including Rachel, our chief news editor, hated the movie. The pacing was chaotic, the villain felt underdeveloped. It was fun, but far from perfect. So, how do we reconcile our own critique and the venom from others with this historic box office haul? This leads us to the elephant in the room, the bias. It seems impossible to ignore the conclusion that many critics and YouTubers went into this film with their minds already made up. The box office numbers suggest that the general audience either didn't care about the online negativity or they flat out disagreed with it. It suggests that a significant portion of the criticism wasn't a fair assessment of the movie we got, but rather a judgment based on the movie they wanted. A sequel to a vision and a tone from a decade ago. We're seeing critics review this film not as a standalone piece of art, but with the ghost of Henry Cavill's Superman and Zack Snyder's universe looming over every frame. And folks, let me be clear. When you critique a movie primarily by comparing it to another, you corrupt yourself. You contaminate the process. You are no longer reviewing the film on its own merits, its own goals, or its own successes and failures. You're reviewing it based on feelings and emotions tied to something else entirely. While the Snyder versus Gunn war has raged online, it seems the Gunn loyalists and the general neutral audience are having the last laugh. A laugh that echoes all the way to the bank. And you know, after spending the weekend thinking about this, processing the film and the wild reaction to it, I've come to a new conclusion. It's a bit of a hot take, so bear with me here. I don't think you can really compare Man of Steel with James Gunn's Superman. Now, before you jump down my throat in the comments saying, "What the hell are you talking about, Adam? Of course you can. They're both Superman movies, jackass." Just hear me out. Zack Snyder's Man of Steel was aimed at a more mature audience. That was evident in every single choice he made. From the grim philosophical themes of a god struggling with his place among mortals, to the somber, almost mournful mood of the film. The cinematic color grading was intentionally gloomy, a desaturated palette of grays and muted tones. Even Superman's costume, with its darker, almost metallic reds and blues, was designed to match the heavy, serious look and feel of his universe. All of this was intentional, crafted to pull in an older audience looking for a weighty, dramatic deconstruction of the hero. Now, look at James Gunn's Superman. It's the polar opposite by design. This film is a vibrant, colorful explosion. The themes are lighter. Hope, truth, and justice are front and center, presented with sincerity, not cynicism. The film's pace is faster, punchier, designed to feel like you're rocketing through the pages of a classic comic book. Gunn's Superman lives in a world of bright primary colors. His suit pops off the screen. The reason for this is clear. Gunn's Superman is designed to cater to a much broader and, frankly, younger audience. Kids who might have been intimidated or bored by the philosophical weight of Man of Steel are going to absolutely love the action, the humor, and the sheer vibrancy of Gunn's vision. In addition to this, I remember taking my nephew to see Man of Steel, and he hated it. He found it slow and boring. They are two fundamentally different films from two different filmmakers with two completely different goals aimed at two different core demographics. One is a brooding symphony, the other is a rock and roll anthem. You can prefer one over the other, but to judge one by the standards of the other is like criticizing a fish for not being able to climb a tree. But hey, that's my opinion. It's the only way I can make sense of this bizarre disconnect between the vitriol and the victory. So, what does this all mean? It means that despite its flaws, James Gunn's Superman has successfully connected with a massive global audience, an audience that was clearly starving for a brighter, more optimistic take on the Man of Steel. The debate will rage on, but the numbers have spoken, and they've spoken with authority. This isn't just about Gunn versus Snyder anymore. It's about what kind of hero audiences want to see on the big screen in 2025. And right now, it looks like hope is selling, and it's selling big. But that's what I think. Am I totally off base here? Can you, and should you, compare the two films directly? Is the box office the ultimate decider in this fan war? I need to know your thoughts. Drop them in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoy these deep dives, please hit that like button, subscribe to Screen Hollywood, and ring that bell for all our future reviews and analysis. This is Adam signing off. See you in the next one.